always a bride, never a wife. Hello strangers, I'm your Ravenna, and today I will be recommending books for Team Monster for the Strange-A-Thon. If you're unaware of what the Strange-A-Thon is, it is my read-athon that will be starting from the 13th of October to the 31st, Halloween, our sacred horror day. This year we're doing trick-and-treating in teams, and one of those teams is Monster, and I've got some recommendations for all my little monsters out there. To make this video as concise and short as possible, I'm just going to state the challenges and some books that do fulfill those challenges that I really like. So the first challenge is the challenge that everyone is doing, which is Halloween Icon, which is to read something iconic to Halloween on the cover. I've already talked about all my recs for this challenge in my Undead recommendation video, so please go there if you're struggling to fulfill this challenge. Which, guys, it just would have been really tedious if I had to say it in every one of these videos, so I made the executive decision not to. The second and first exclusive challenge to monsters is bone chilling. Read a book outside your comfort zone. So I don't know what your comfort zone is, so I can't do recommendations in a general sense. Obviously this challenge really depends on you and what your comfort zone is. So my only kind of advice is to think about what books do you tend to stay away from. Like, do you not read a lot of books from a certain genre? Or is there something in a book that you really wouldn't want to read about? Do you don't read a lot of non-fiction books, or do you not really read a lot of books aimed at a specific age group? Find your own comfort zone and then go out of it. The next challenge is missing hands. Read a book with hands on the covers. So this challenge, I'm not gonna lie, it was mainly inspired by this book, but Middle Game by Shayna McGuire. So if you've not read this book, maybe this is the time to do it. I haven't read this book, so I can't officially recommend it, but this is what this challenge is from, and it's the book I'm probably going to read for this challenge. The hand doesn't have to be massive like it is on this one. It could just be small, or it could be a figure of a person, you just happen to see their hand. Some books that I really like that have hands on the covers are Dead Silent and Dead Jealous by Shannon Jones, Into the Drowning Deep by Maya Grant, Ink Death by Cornelia Funk, and The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Banhill. The next challenge is Grim Retelling. Read a book that has origins in another story. The fun thing about this challenge is that you could actually just read Grimm fairy tales if you wanted by the Brothers Grimm, because they didn't come up with those stories themselves, but they did heavily rewrite them to be a lot more Christian than they originally was, so just a thought. So my recs for this are Grimps by Kendra Layton. This is actually based on a poem, so, you know, think about that. Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. Obviously this takes from the Bible, so it is you telling a known story, so you could do that as well. There's a lot of books that take from biblical stories as well, or other religions, so I don't know if that gives you any ideas. The Sleeper and the Spindle by Neil Gaiman. This is a semi-telling of Sleeping Beauty, I think. Marley's Ghost by David Levithan, if you just want to say, screw it, let's read a Christmas story in Halloween. I kind of struggled, because it turns out apparently I don't read a lot of these. I thought I had, but apparently I don't. And last but probably most is the Madman's Daughter trilogy by Megan Shepherd. Each book in this series takes from a different classic horror gothic novel, but mostly from Monroe's Island by H.G. Wells is the first one, and that does kind of carry on. Also Beastly by Alex Finn. Unknown Forces. Read a book with the supernatural. This one's probably quite easy to do, but still I have recs. Bellman and Back by Darren Shatterfield. Sawhill Girls by Claire Legend. The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Watson. The Frozen Charlotte series by Alex Bell. Seconds by Brian Lee O'Malley. Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea by April Genevieve Tosco. And last but not least is Teammates. Read a book with monsters in it. Obviously there's the Goat book, which is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor, but if you've already read that book or don't want to read it for whatever reason, here are some other books with monsters in them that I like. So Her Girls by Queer Legend, Sasha Girls and Monster Boys by a bunch of different people, but edited by April Genevieve Tosco. Madman's Daughter Trilogy by Megan Shepherd, The Creeper Man by Dawn Kutchard, Charlotte Says by Alex Bell, Coraline by Neil Gaiman, The Girl with All the Gifts by Emma Casey, Ashes by Lisa J. Brick, The Bone Series by Samantha Sharon, Into the Drowning Deep by Maya Grant, and Lumberjanes, the graphic novel series. So that's all my recs for Team Monster. So I will see you guys next time, where we'll see who's the most monstrous team after all. Farewell. You could do a book that just happens to have a person on it, but you can see their hands like this. Actually, that's probably more a big part of the photo than it would have to be. So it doesn't have to be a book where the hand takes over the whole of the cover like this. It could just be that you can happen to see a hand go by. I don't know why this hand's moving, but apparently it is.